Hi everybody. Oh gosh, what is this? Which episode is this? Maybe the 12th. Let's find. 11th. So 11th day of reading The One and Only Ivan by Katherine Applegate. Today I am starting on page 128. And Noah is going to call the names today. See if anybody is watching. Noah, whose name are we calling today? Ford. Pick a color. Pick a color.
Tatum.
Oh, Tatum. If you watch this, comment on day 11 and you can pick my outfit for tomorrow. And who's doing the exercise today?
Valentina.
Ooh, Valentina. If you watch this, I know you just got on your computer, so you might not, but when you watch this, Valentina, I want you to do a flow. And everyone else, if you're watching this, stop for a minute and do your flow. We start in child's pose, then we go to cobra, downward dog. Do that 3 times and don't forget your breathing. Okay, the end. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly with my allergies. I'm going to drink some tea real quick. I need some hot mint tea. Okay, the end. One day, a still day, when the hot air hummed, the humans came. After they captured my sister and me, they put us in a cramped, dark crate that smelled of urine, and fear. Somehow I knew that in order to live, I had to let my old life die. But my sister could not let go of our home. It held her like a vine, stretching across the miles, comforting, strangling. We were still in our crate when she looked at me without seeing, and I knew that the vine had finally snapped. It's kind of saying that she kind of just went crazy. She couldn't handle it. The temporary human. It was Mac who pried open that crate, Mac who bought me, and Mac who raised me like a human baby. I wore diapers, I drank from a bottle, I slept in human beds, sat in human chairs, listened while human words swarmed around me like angry bees. Mac had a wife back then. Helen was quick to laugh and was quick with anger too, especially when I broke something, which was often. Here is what I broke while I lived with Mac and Helen. 1 crib, 46 glasses, 7 lamps, 1 couch, 3 shower curtains, 3 shower curtain rods, 1 blender, 1 TV, 1 radio, 3 toes. My own. I broke the blender when I squeezed 3 tubes of toothpaste and a bottle of glue into it. Oh my. I broke my toes attempting to swing from a lamp fixture on the ceiling. I broke 46 glasses. Well, it turns out that there are many ways to break a glass. Every weekend, Mac and Helen took me in their convertible to a fast food restaurant where they ordered me French fries and a strawberry shake. Mac loved to see the expression on the cashier's face when he drove up and said, "Could I have some extra ketchup for my kid?" I went to baseball games, to the grocery store, to a movie theater, even to the circus. They didn't have a gorilla. I rode a little motorbike and blew out candles on my birthday cake. My life as a human was a glamorous one, although my parents, traditional sorts, would not have approved. Hunger. In my new life as a human, I was well tended. I ate lettuce, leaves with Thousand Island dressing, and caramel apples and popcorn with butter. My belly ballooned. But hunger, like food, comes in many shapes and colors. At night, lying alone in my pool pajamas, I felt hungry for the skilled touch of a grooming friend, for the cheerful grunts of a play fight, for the easy safety of my nearby troop foraging through the shadows. Remember what happened to Tag? I told myself. Don't think about the jungle. Still, sometimes I lay awake, wishing for the warmth of another just like me, asleep in the night nest of tender prayer plant leaves. I liked having sips of soda poured into my mouth like a bubbling waterfall, but every now and then I longed to search for the tender stalk of arrowroot and to feel the tease of mango just out of reach. Here's a picture. Still life. One day, Helen came home with something large and flat, wrapped in brown paper. "Look what I bought today," she said excitedly as she tore off the paper. "A painting to go over the living room couch." "Fruit in a bowl," Max said with a shrug. "Big deal." "This is fine art. It's called still life," Helen explained, "and I think it's lovely." I dashed over to examine the painting, marveling at the colors and shapes. "See," said Mac's wife, "Ivan likes it." "Ivan likes to roll up poop and throw it at squirrels," Mac said. I couldn't take my eyes off the apples and bananas and grapes in the picture. They looked so real, so inviting. I reached out to touch a grape, and Helen slapped my hand. "Bad boy, Ivan, don't touch." She jerked her thumb at Mac. "Honey, go get a hammer and a nail, would ya?" While Mac and Helen were busy in the living room, I wandered into the kitchen. A cake covered in thick chocolate frosting sat at the counter. I like cake, love it in fact, but it wasn't eating, but it wasn't eating I was thinking about. It was painting. The frosting peaked and dipped like waves on a tiny pond. It looked so rich and gooey, dark and smooth. It looked like mud. And if you remember what Ivan always liked to do with the mud, you know what's coming. I scooped up a handful of frosting. I scooped up another. I headed to the refrigerator door. It was perfect. An empty white waiting canvas. The frosting wasn't easy to work with as jungle mud. It was slicker and, of course, more tempting to eat. But I kept at it. I scraped off every last bit of that frosting. I may have eaten a little cake, too. I don't remember what I was trying to paint. A banana, most likely? I suppose I knew I was going to get in trouble. But at that moment, I just didn't care. I wanted to make something, anything, the way I used to. I wanted to be an artist again. Punishment. I soon learned that humans can screech louder than monkeys. After that, I was never allowed in the kitchen. Babies. Back in those days, the Big Top Mall was smaller. It had a pony ride, a wooden train that bustled around the parking lot, a few bedraggled parrots, and a surly spider monkey. But when Mac brought me, a baby gorilla dressed in a crisp tuxedo, to the mall, everything changed. People came from far and wide to have their pictures taken with me. They brought me blocks and a toy guitar. They held me in their laps. Once I even held a baby in mine. She was so small and slippery. Bubbles flowed from her lips. She squeezed my fingers. Her rear was puffy with padding. Her legs bowed like bent wings. I made a face. She made a face. I grunted. She grunted. I was so afraid she would fall that I squeezed her tightly, and her mother yanked her away. I wonder if my mother ever worried about dropping us. We always held on, but that's easier to do when your mother's furry. Human babies are an ugly lot. Their eyes are like our babies' eyes, too big for their faces and for the world. Beds. One day, after many weeks of loud talking, Helen packed a bag and slammed the front door and never came back. I don't know why. I never know why with humans. That night, I slept with Mac in his bed. My old nests were woven of leaves and sticks and shaped like his bathtub, cool green cocoons. Mac's bed, like mine, was flat, hot without sticks or stars. Still, he made a sleeping sound like the rumble my father used to make when all was well, and the sound from deep inside his belly to his snoring. And I'm going to leave it there at 142. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We're going to get outside here for a walk in a little bit. And I was going to show you some things around my garden, I think, later for science. I think we're going to go digging and looking for some worms. You think you could help me, Noah?
Sure.
All right. I have a helper. All right. I hope you are all doing well. See you next time. Mwah.